L'chaim, everyone. Welcome to Shvat, the special day on the Jewish calendars. We'll talk in a moment. And today we're going to make brachas. We're going to connect with the land of Israel. We're going to connect with food and agriculture. We're going to connect with ourselves. We're going to connect with the source of all life, Almighty God. So l'chaim, everybody. We should all be blessed with a happy Tu B'Shvat and all of the special energies that come shine and are extended to the world on this holy and special day. We should be recipients and be able to contain and hold on to these blessings for good, for life, and for peace. L'chaim. Land of Israel is blessed with 7 special kinds of food. They are, anyone know?
Oh, dates and
Wheat. We start with wheat and barley, and then we move on to
dates and figs.
Grapes, dates, figs, pomegranates, and olives. Special 7 kinds of food that the land of Israel is especially blessed with. Today is what we call the New Year's, Rosh Hashanah for the trees. There are actually, I'm sure everybody is familiar with the Rosh Hashanah. What's Rosh Hashanah? New Year's. When is Rosh Hashanah?
In the fall.
Usually it's sometime in September. Usually in September time, right? But on the Jewish calendar, it's always in the same day. It's the first day of the month of Tishrei. What month is the month of Tishrei? The 7th month, which means that there's a first day of the first month. So right when we call Rosh Hashanah, that we're familiar with the first day of the 7th month, we are already saying that there's another type of New Year's. And that is when the months begin. It's also a cycle of a New Year. So there's a New Year's for the years, there's a New Year's for the months, there's a New Year's for documentation, there's a New Year's for kings, and there's a New Year's for the trees. There are 4 New Years, 4 different dates on the Jewish calendar that are called New Year's. The first day of Nisan, the first day of Elul, the first day of Tishrei, and the first day of Shvat. According to Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel says no. The New Year's for the trees is the 15th day of the month. The 15th day of the month of Shvat. This is when the earliest saplings in Israel begin to grow. This is when the new season, just the earliest time, begin to sprout. So it's called the New Year's for trees, which means, in theory, the tree can be just 2 days old, planted yesterday, today it already gains a year. That's what we call a New Year's. That's what New Year's means. So it's a very significant day on the Jewish calendar. For what reason? I'm not sure. So it's the New Year's for the trees. Who cares? Who cares? What make a difference to your life? Right? The trees have a New Year's. Okay, so then if it didn't have a New Year's, if we didn't have, would it make a difference to you? Now that you know that today is New Year's for the trees, does it make a difference? And the answer is, theoretically, that would be correct. However, the Torah in the book of Deuteronomy states, Ki ha'odam eitz hasoda. For the mankind is like a tree in the field. Which means the trees have very real and deep significance to our lives. In more than one way. And it's not limited to any specific type of teaching. There are so many things and so many ways how trees teach us how to live, how to be good, humble, blessed, and giving people. And we'll touch on a few of them today. And the point is that on this day, everyone should reflect on what can we learn, how can we improve our own character on this day. Beginning, of course, I'm sure everybody here at one point in their life, you heard either parent or your teacher tell you, grow up. No? You know what I'm saying? Anyone ever heard this before? Anyone ever on the receiving end? I know I was many times. Says to you, grow up already. What do you mean grow up? What does it mean grow up? What does it mean to grow up? What does to grow up mean? To mature, huh?
Be wise.
To be wise, to mature. There's different types, there's different parts of our components of our that make us up as a human being. Intellect is one of them, it's very important. But wisdom doesn't equal maturity. And we all know this, I'm sure, either from your own life or from people that you know. People can be very, very wise, but they can be very, very immature. What does immature mean? Immaturity means that the wisdom doesn't translate the character. Your behavior is totally not on par with where it belongs. When you tell somebody to grow up, you're telling them what it means is you're telling them they should grow up not in their smarts, but emotionally. A child comes home from school with a test and they got a 64 on the test. You don't tell them, grow up. Is that what you tell them? That wouldn't be an appropriate response to a failing mark for wisdom and for information. But a child comes home and misbehaves, doesn't behave properly, fails in their character. That's when you tell them, grow up. That's not becoming of you. And it's the job of a child to learn from the parents, the job of the parents to teach the child. This is basics, as we would call, no great, deep understandings. This is how we all were raised. Parents, teachers, hopefully good influences in our life that helped shape who we are today. And we're still growing up. We still have growing up to do. We have not yet reached our full potential in any area. So the day of Tu B'Shvat is a day where we pause and we reflect and we think about, what does this mean? How can we be a little bit improved in our character? So the land of Israel is blessed with 7 different types of food. Each one of these foods are connected with different parts of our character. Today, we're not going to go through the connection between the foods and the character. That's not what I want to do today, but I do want to make a brachos with everybody. Make a few brachos here so everyone could grab. We'll start with a cracker or a pretzel or something, make a mezainis. We'll say the bracha together. This is connecting with the wheat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei mizonos. And as mentioned, there's barley in the soup. There's barley soup. So one can have some soup if you'd like. This is all I want to stress. This is not a mitzvah by according to anyone. The Torah doesn't say this, nor do any holy sages say that this is a mitzvah. This is just pure custom. We're doing this to connect in the way of a custom of the Jewish people. That on this day we try to eat extra fruit and extra specifically from the fruits that the land of Israel has been blessed with. That is a sign that the soup is still hot, Lorna. Thanks for letting us all know. I hope you're okay. We'll make now a bracha ha'etz. You could have some, pick your choice. I'm choosing the pomegranate, but whatever you like. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz.
Amen.
Is something like dried mango is not because it has like sugar on it?
No. Sugar is for hakol also.
Oh, that's what I'm that's maybe that's what I meant. That's for like anything that's not. That's for like other, like environmental, is that?
Yeah, and shakol yaviboro.
This mango be AIDS or charcoal?
No, that would be ha'etz. That would be ha'etz. It's mango. It's real. That's not made in a lab. That's real.
But if there's a lot of sugar on it, it doesn't change into.
No, because the sugar is there to sweeten the fruit. The main ingredient there is.
So it's still mango.
It's mango. Yeah, that's mango. Correct. Okay, l'chaim, everyone, l'chaim. So we'll talk a little interesting idea, and everyone feel free to chime in, and also to enjoy from the different foods that are on the table. I think there's on that plate that's an olive dip. You can have some together with this if you want some olive. Okay, be that as it may. So I heard a very interesting idea. I think it's a very true idea of the tree. I heard it recently. I'm not sure the source of it, but the source of it may not be what's important. It may be what's most important is the lesson we can learn from it. When it comes to trees, there's a couple of different angles we can take, and as I said, they're all true. And I urge you all to think about what will be discussed today, and also things done on your own. Take a walk in the park maybe tomorrow, or just down the block, and look, think, contemplate what's taking place over here. The tree, firstly, it brought down that every part of the tree can be used for something. No, nothing garbage. Everything can have a purpose. Number one. Number two is the greatest shall we say this, the greatest achievement of the tree is the tree that bears fruit. And not just fruit, but the one that has sweet fruit. Good, healthy, juicy fruits. That's the real trees that we're looking for. In addition to that, there's also shade. Trees provide shade, very important. But when thinking about the fruit of a tree, stop for a moment and realize like this. The tree itself never eats fruit. The fruit is all there for other people. All for other people to enjoy. Never once will any tree eat its own or any other fruit. So the greatest achievement of the tree is the fact that it gives fruit, and it itself doesn't even benefit from it. It's purely there for others. Selfless. What's the idea of the fruit? If man is compared to the tree, the fruit are our good deeds. Our greatest achievement we can do as a human being is not how smart we are, as I mentioned earlier. It's not what it's only about, but it's what are you doing with it? Your character. My good deeds, my mitzvahs. And here we learn something fascinating. That we can learn from the tree not to look to be beneficiaries of our own good deeds. It should be solely for the purpose of others to benefit from. Now, in order to produce the tree and produce the fruit, you have to have
See,
seed. Seed is planted. And then what do you need to do?
Water,
You need water. Absent water and oxygen,
nitrogen,
huh?
nitrogen.
Nitrogen, be done, toast. You're not gonna have, be dead. Where does the water come from? Where does the oxygen, the nitrogen, where does it come from? So it's very fascinating idea. Most of it comes from heaven. Most of it comes from heaven. A little bit comes from, at least when it comes to water and irrigation, people. People can help out and water the grass. We bring water to the trees, water the ground. In life, we're all growing. We start off as a small seed. In order to be a healthy grown-up that's capable of producing fruit, capable of doing good deeds, you need to have a few different things, different ingredients in life to bring you to a place of giving. Most of that comes from God. Most of it is God-given. A little bit comes from man. There's a partnership. There's a combination over here. What creates us, what helps form us into these big machers that have mouths and opinions and give their opinions and share their opinions and disagree with other people and love other people. Where does it all come from? We need air. We need water. Comes from God. God gives all this for free. It's for free. You don't pay for the air that you breathe. Like the tree. Water. This is the beauty that we have in life. This is a beautiful idea. And it's all there for what purpose? It's all there for us to then eat it, drink it, breathe it, grow, produce fruit, so that somebody else should have a delicious fruit. God gives us all of our blessings. God showering us with rain and with blessings in our life, putting the right people around us, the right advisors, the right teachers. Not because of anything else other than God wants us to be fruit-bearing trees, so that the rest of the world should benefit from it, so that somebody else should have benefit. Not that I should be a big person, that I should get attention, that I should draw attention to me. No, it's about providing for somebody else, being a beauty, being a blessing for the rest of the world, for the rest of mankind. It's a fascinating idea over here. It's really a beautiful idea that we don't think about enough. If only we would think about this more, we would probably be kinder, gentler, and more giving people. But today is the day that we do think about it. We do talk about it. This is what it's all about today. It's about trying to connect and plug into this energy. This is the energy that's flowing the next 24 hours. This is what we're talking about over here. This is where we're going. This is what we're trying to accomplish and achieve. This is some of the importance of the day. I think they said there was a rabbi who, in the Talmud, when he passed, his colleagues eulogized him and said that he was like a fruit to its basket. No one understood. What did that mean, like a fruit to its basket? What type of analogy is that? He said, well, just like the fruit makes no difference to the basket. If you take the fruit out, the basket remains the same. The basket remains the same, the fruit is in or out. Similarly, this person's wisdom made no difference to his character. He just had wisdom, but his body didn't change because of his character didn't change. His basket, that which held it, wasn't transformed. It wasn't affected by it. This is, obviously, it was in a not such a nice derogatory way, but we have to learn from this to help ourselves, in primarily in this area. So when you compare this day, this Rosh Hashanah, the 15th day of the month, to the other Rosh Hashanahs, which are on the first day of the month, the 15th day of the month, the Jewish month, the first day of the Jewish month, are opposites. Why the opposites? Because we go by a lunar cycle. The first day of the month is when the moon is just starting, but basically is non-existent. The 15th day of the month is when the moon is full. The beginning and the end of the month are both when the moon is non-existent. But the middle, the 15th day, is when the moon is at full glory. The Jewish people are counted, we count by the moon, are also compared to the moon. The moon waxes and wanes. The Jewish people have good times and we have better times. The 15th day of the month is when the moon is full. It's different than all the other Rosh Hashanahs. Other Rosh Hashanahs represent the idea of bittul, the idea of self-nullification. But the idea of the 15th day of the month, this particular time is a time where we're asked to be full moon, to give everything that we have when it comes to allowing others to benefit from what we have to offer. Give everything. Don't hold back. Don't be stingy. And don't say, who am I? I'm not worthy enough. I'm not learned enough. I haven't reached a certain point or level in this specialty, in this area that I'm capable of giving you or helping you or sharing with you. No. Everybody on this day is a full moon. And as such, we have to be providers to our full capacity. Don't hold anything back. Let's be selfless, giving people. Ultimately, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Like the tree is there to produce the fruit, so too God put us here to produce fruit. To make a difference in the world with our good deeds. That's how we make a difference in the world. This is one very important message of Tu B'Shvat. There's another very important message to Tu B'Shvat. That is, Lorna before said about the seed. Everything starts with a little seed. Right? And over here we find something interesting. And that is when you have a big tree, nice healthy tree that's been around for hundreds of years, and you go over to the tree with a knife, and you give a slice into the tree. Make a nice mark in the tree with a knife. What difference does it make to the tree? Not much. Not much. Why? The tree is strong enough to withstand your mark. Go to a little seed and then start making a scratch in the seed. All of a sudden, a healthy seed that now is scratched and defected will produce a defected tree, a defected plant. All because the seed, when it was tiny little seed, it had a small defect. Now in the tree, it remains forever. Once the tree is big, you can handle a scratch, handle maybe many scratches. This is what the Rebbe would always say, the importance of education. If you want to understand education, this is a perfect analogy for education. Many people mistakenly say, I'm not going to teach, it's not important to teach children now certain things about Judaism. When they get older, they'll already make their decisions what they want to do in life. Then they'll already have the ability, they'll be mature, they'll be wise, they'll be over 18 in this country, right? 18, some other countries maybe 16, I don't know. And then they'll decide for themselves. The information will be there for them to choose. When they're little and they're young, I'm not going to tell my kid to do it. Terrible mistake. Terrible mistake. Education, healthy education has to start from the moment the child is born, the newborn. On the contrary, the younger they are, the more influenced they are by what's around them. Everything that they listen to, everything that they take in, has a greater and deeper effect on them when they're younger than when they're older. And just think about in life. The older you get, you barely remember what someone told you 5 minutes ago. Just the way it works. The brain works differently. So you heard something that was inappropriate. When you hear something that's inappropriate, when you're a certain age, you don't even remember it. A minute later, you don't remember I can't even remember what the person said. When you're a little child, someone says something inappropriate, it's like, oi, the whole world came to an end, and you remember forever. You can't forget. You'll never be able to get this image, this sight out of your brain. It's seared into your memory for life. If you see the same thing when you're 25, it means different. See the same thing when you're 55, it means something different. It's the same thing, same image. When you're a small newborn, when you're a seed, You're just being planted into this world. You have to take care and nurture with the most delicate way. Give them only the best foods to eat, the best nourishment, the best spiritual environment. All of these things are critical. It's critical. The younger you are. It's not to say that when you get older, you don't need these things. When you get older, you're already a tree. So that either you're defected, either we're all defected from our youth, or we're healthy from our youth. But either way, whatever it is, this is who we are now. So we can try to improve. And then you have to go to what do they call them, a botanist and a tree doctor. What's a tree doctor? Huh? An arborist. And they can try to come and to save you, and they can do different things to try to strengthen you and to protect you and get you more light and more nutrients and inject you with this and with that. This is what we're dealing with when you reach a certain age. So we learn on Tu B'Shvat the importance of education, specifically education for the youth, how important it is to make sure that Jewish children are getting a good, solid Jewish education. And this doesn't start from any further time than the moment they start breathing. That's already when their education begins, the moment they start breathing. Some would say already in womb. In utero already begins then. And there's today in science, there's a lot of data to back that idea up. That already children or fetuses already pick up a lot of different vibrations. Music and all different things already from before they're born, just in utero. So this is ideas that were shared by different spiritual giants over the years in Torah, and people laughed at them. But today we see that they were onto something. They were onto something very, very real and very important, because we're referring to the seed. The more delicate, the younger they are, the more delicate, the more important it is. And the older people, so you say to yourself, why am I talking to you? Nobody here is in that position right now. Talking to you because this is what it means to be an adult, to be a tree that bears fruit. It means for other people. Not about me. That's the whole point, Tu B'Shvat, not about me. So at other people, how can I benefit other people? What can I do to help somebody, a new child, to get the best, healthiest education possible in today's day and age, to support. We live in a time and age where the Jewish world was shocked. What was the Jewish world shocked? It used to be October 7th, the Jewish, not only from what happened in Israel October 7th, that of course, but the Jewish world in America was shocked. You know what America was shocked? It used to be that every Jewish mother in America's dream was for their child to get Harvard, to go to Princeton, go to Columbia. Oh, you made it. My child has a law degree or a PhD from these universities, the Ivy Leagues. Oh, and then now we realize that the shock of the Jewish world, that these colleges were teaching garbage. And so many of the professors there are not worthy of the title and the position. And it's a massive shock to the Jewish world, because we thought, we put so much money. I say me, not as if I'm part of it, but we, the collective Jewish we, invested billions and billions and billions of dollars. So we should have the best education for the children. And what emerged all of a sudden was that it was rotten education. And they were literally injecting them with poisonous ideas. We still haven't yet recovered fully from this in the Jewish world. And a lot of people pulling back money, threatening to pull. It's all part of the imbalance that we have. So many people are so uncomfortable now. They don't know what to do anymore. On the one hand, we've been taught for so many years that these schools were so important and integral. On the other hand, we also know that what we see in front of our eyes doesn't lie. And now we have to try to figure out how do we proceed? But this was but as a regular person who's not in one of these schools and not in a position that I'm donating billions of dollars to these things, but I can be a provider on a small scale to help a child. Maybe I won't give billions of dollars endowments to big schools, but to small schools, to schools that I know are giving a good, healthy Jewish education. Yes, I can be a contributor to help a child that's in need to be able to get that healthy Jewish education. That's but Tu B'Shvat. When you go walk in the park and you walk down the road and you see the trees, especially now with the snow, it's gorgeous today. This morning it was beautiful to see the snow on the nice wet snow before the cars ruined on the streets, but it was nice heavy wet snow on all the trees today. This morning it was beautiful and gorgeous, and you ask yourself, I'm looking over here at in some way a reflection of what a human being is supposed to be like. Be there for the service of others, selfless. Providing my greatest achievement in life is to be able to provide somebody else with something sweet, with something nourishing, with something delicious, to put a smile on their face. That's it. That's the beginning, middle, and end of all of it. So if you could do it for an adult, it's great, but even more important, to help out a child. To help us, the younger they are, the more important it is. Because that's the smaller and more delicate to see this. So l'chaim, everyone, we should take these lessons to heart, and hopefully we learn a little bit from the day, and we improve a little bit in our behaviors. L'chaim l'bracha. Does anyone have anything they want to share? Anyone have any insights? Yes, go ahead.
I was touched by what you said because, I didn't grow up very well educated, but in Judaism, but I never forgot when my grandfather brought me to the shul in Middle Village where we grew up. And it was a very traditional shul. The bima was in the center. It had the balcony, and we were young enough that we used to go play around the bima, and it was nice. I enjoyed that. And like you said, that I remember so much.